That's me, the only person that doesn't have a fingerprint on the door. How you doing, Nicole?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. You've been getting we've had to respond to people because we've been getting so many comments. Where's Dr. Lydia? Where's Dr.
Oh.
Can you assure everyone that you are still here? You're not getting burnout. You didn't quit.
So the behind the scenes story to me being here less is twofold. Number one, we finally have an RVT hospital manager, which I'm thrilled about. And we have Dr. Gina, who I trust implicitly. But also, I have 4 kids, and my kids' school situation has been less than stable. We've tried a bunch of different options, and just nothing was working great. So I'm homeschooling my 4 children, all of them full-time. All of them are in a bunch of different subjects and activities. And my husband runs his own business. And so, yeah, that's exhausting. If any homeschool moms are out there, I'm kind of dying a little bit. It's really hard. Like, poor Dr. Gina. Every time I come in and I'm like, yay, veterinary medicine. I love Horse Plus. I've been here almost 10 years. I'm not going anywhere. But I'm only working Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm working 2 10-hour days. So it's really different for me. The plan is to kind of heavy load surgical cases and a lot of the more technical stuff on Tuesdays and Thursdays and have a really full long day. But right when we started that in January, we've had just like absolutely frigid weather. I got here this morning and it was 11 degrees. So even with layers on and gearing up to go do stuff, or even if we operate in our heated operating room, then we're still putting a post-surgical animal back outside. So we've been doing a lot of really important research and working on some papers and doing our year-end logs and a lot of really boring things. They are boring. But yeah, I'm not going anywhere. We're all here. We're getting a lot done. It's just not really exciting stuff. But if you're in the cold and you walk outside, it really is fairer to our equine patients to just bundle them up and keep them fed than it is for us to do a bunch of exciting stuff. So I'm chopping at the bit and really excited. Spring is coming. We're going to be busy. And I think it will actually be, I think we're going to be able to get the same amount of things done because we have an experienced hospital manager person who's doing a lot of the behind the scenes thing to get us ready for those so we can do them all at one time. So sorry, it's been a little boring. But that's where we are. And if anybody wants to send me homeschool suggestions, I think what's hard, I used to teach high school biology. So I love teaching. I'm great at certain things hands-on, but like high school math is not my thing. And like I'm teaching order of operations and I got problems wrong. Like I have a doctorate and I do math all the time. But then it's also having 4 kids who all need you for different things at the same time. It's not like I have a classroom of students and I'm preparing one lesson plan. And this wasn't like a last minute decision. Dr. Gina can attest. I've been talking about school issues for the last 3 years. But we kind of came to the decision, like kind of at Christmas time, like, all right, we're going to go for it. So yeah, that's where I am. If you see me being extra happy to be here, I'm so happy to be here. I love my job. I also love my family, but that's where I've been. And no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm still here working away, bundled up. And stay tuned for lots more exciting things as soon as the temperature. There was one day we were like, it's going to be 40, but then it was above freezing for like 2 total hours. And we were like, oh, okay, we can't actually do all the things. So we're clinicians, like we want to be doing clinical cases. And so it is hard. I'm really impatient. And I honestly, I get bored easily. Like I want to be doing the clinical things that you guys probably want to watch, but we have to keep everything in consideration while we do a lot of things that an equine hospital would do. We don't have 24-hour staff. We don't have a fully climate controlled veterinary barn. We have a surgery room that's climate controlled, which is awesome, but you can't just take an animal and recover them from anesthesia and be like, go back outside to 4 degrees. So that's where we are. Now I'm repeating myself, but today, this afternoon, we're going to be rechecking the group of reservation horses that tested positive for diphtheria. So that's a really interesting set of circumstances. That group of horses is in really rough shape. And then we had the public health concern on top of that. CDC got involved. We've had a bunch of meetings. And we still have animals in that group with persistent mucopurulent nasal discharge. They've had systemic antibiotics. They've had a lot of intense kind of just supportive care. So we're going to be running them through again to recheck culture swabs and recheck temperatures. There are at least 2 mares in that group that we believe to be pregnant, although pregnancy checking horses via ultrasound is dangerous because you have to palpate via rectum, and these animals are very, very reactive. And again, with sedation, we don't want to heavily sedate an animal and then keep them outside. So that's going to be our afternoon. Because they could potentially be infectious, we're going to do some things with our general population animals first, and then we'll end up doing that. And we're just taking it a week at a time. But that's where we are. I just got asked about burnout in the veterinary profession. And if you've been following occupational statistics, you'll know that veterinarians are 3 to 4 times more likely to commit suicide than any other health-related profession. And health professions are more likely to commit suicide than the general population. So it's a really heavy topic. There's an amazing organization out there called Not One More Vet. I have been very fortunate to have a very happy, stable support system. So I have a wonderful husband. I've been married for almost 20 years and a really happy home life. And so those things really help. You hear a lot about work-life balance. Shelter medicine is devastatingly hard. I was in zoological medicine for almost 10 years, and that was also hard in its own way. The reason why Horse Plus is sustainable for me is Dr. Gina. Like, truly, in a nutshell, Horse Plus had offered me this job before a couple times, and I had turned it down. And when the possibility of having another veterinary colleague here was presented, that's really why I said yes, because the burden of making these really hard calls about health and long-term comfort and dignity and sustainability, and it's tough, like, we go to school to be doctors and learn all of the things that can be done, but just because you can do them doesn't mean you can or should do them, especially not in a shelter context. And you got to be able to sleep well at night, and having a colleague here on site who can listen and touch and discuss, it really is that support system that makes it sustainable. If I was here by myself, I wouldn't have made it more than 3 months of this job. So thank you, Dr. Gina. I love you. I think if you're a general population person out there, not a veterinarian watching, it is really incredibly difficult to be a healthcare provider in the modern day and age of social media, because you can make almost everyone incredibly happy, and those people that love you really aren't out there saying that they appreciate you. It's the very few, the vocal minority, the haters, that will criticize anything. I mean, you can do everything right and still be really criticized. And at the end of the day, the only people I know who survive vet school are all very, very driven, type A, overachievers. We're competitive, we're passionate, we're driven by our hearts. You don't go into veterinary medicine for the money, ever, right? Like, I do this job because I love animals and I love people and I want to help people with their animals. And so having someone accuse you of being in it for the money, or not advocating for your patients is incredibly difficult. And that really, like, that is a driver behind the statistics and a driver behind burnout. It's not, the hours are tough, but if you talk to vets who experience burnout, it's never the animals, it's the people. It's the lack of support. It's a lack of understanding for what we do. It's not euthanasia. People all the time are like, oh my gosh, how can you euthanize animals? And it's like, euthanasia is a gift that we employ to maintain comfort and dignity in animals that are suffering. And I really don't have a problem with euthanasia. I have a really, really hard time with wanting to love pets more than their owners love them, and wanting to save everything and not being able to save everything. So be kind to your vet, be kind to your vet staff, support people. This carries over. The statistics is not just veterinarians, it's the technicians, and it's the vet assistants, and it's the people who answer the phones at vet clinics who get hated on all the time. So yeah, burnout is real. Burnout in animal rescue is incredibly high. I don't know the statistics on that, but burnout in the veterinary profession is at unprecedented levels. And I gave a PowerPoint to a group of other shelters this past year, and the statistics of vets who are willing to work on large animals is terrifying. It's like 4% of veterinarians in North America will even work on large animals. No one's going into large animal medicine, and over half of the current large animal veterinarians are all approaching retirement age. So if you feel inclined to be annoyed at your equine vet because they're not available all the time, you are scaring them away from the profession. And there's probably a lot behind their reasons to try to put up boundaries in their personal life. And it's because they don't want to burn out. I have a ton of colleagues who just aren't vets anymore. And I only work 2 days a week. And a part of that is to preserve my joy for my job and my passion for my job. So that was the short answer.
People are kind of criticizing, saying kind of like, well, if you can't perform a surgery and then keep them inside or have the facility to do that,
Sure.
or certain things, like if you don't have this, then why, you shouldn't be doing it at all.
Sure. And I think to that, I would say we agree with that largely. Like Dr. Gina and I very, very regularly look at a case and go, if we had a $10,000 budget and the ability to hospitalize this, we might be able to do this soft tissue procedure, but our staff doesn't have the capability to provide the appropriate aftercare. And on a regular basis, we say no to cases and say goodbye to animals simply because we don't want to put them through extended periods of suffering. Part of what's hard for Dr. Gina and I is the age demographic of the patients that we receive. We don't get a lot of middle-aged animals. So I might be willing to put a 8, 9, 10-year-old, 15-year-old horse through, even weeks or months of rehabilitation if the exchange is, we got another decade of comfortable life. I'm not so convinced that it's ethically correct to do that for a 25, 26, 27, 28-year-old. If you've watched our show, you heard me say again and again, age is just a number. I do not make age-based decisions. However, our bodies don't heal the same way. As we age, we experience pain differently. There's comorbidities to deal with. There's systemic health. And then there's, do I want to put a horse through 6 months of really uncomfortable rehab, knowing that we're going to get a year, And I think all the time, if this animal could self-advocate, would they choose this? Would this animal want to be stuck in a stall? Would this animal want to be sedated every other day for bandage changes? Does this animal love life and its relationship with humans enough to justify, a person being up in their space? And at Horse Plus, we don't get the young animals. We get very young, immunosuppressed, wild horses. And we get very old, comorbidity, sick horses. We desperately would love to get that middle demographic of things that are treatable. We talk about it every day. I've heard that our supporters will be like, man, show us more happy stories. We want those happy stories too, desperately. That is why we are here. And the flip side of that is that we don't say no to everything. And there are cases that I would never accept as a GP veterinarian for an owned animal, but that I can legally accept as a shelter veterinarian, because we're the last option for these animals. So I actually don't know what an enucleation would cost in private practice. Probably at least $1,000, maybe $1,500 surgery. At cost here at Horse Plus, it takes us about an hour. I can do an enucleation for probably under $200 cost for Horse Plus, and that's aftercare that most of those animals, once the eye is out, they're markedly more comfortable right away. So that to me feels justifiable and something we could do. I've done dental procedures, I've done soft tissue stuff. Check ligament surgery really should be performed by a boarded surgeon. Like if you own a colt and it needs that surgery, I'm gonna stand by that it should be done in a referral setting, in an actual, by a surgeon. But if I have an animal here and the finances are not there, and it's something that I technically know how to do and legally can do as a veterinarian, and that case goes well, I have an opportunity to save that animal's life, and we've done things like that. So it's not ever black and white, right? We have to look at all of the variables of the case, and our job is to do no harm and to advocate for our patients, whether that makes people happy or not. Ultimately, the job of a vet is not to make an owner happy, it's to advocate for our patients, period, full stop. that's where it ends. And in my experience, the compromises to make people happy overwhelmingly are the things that end up leading to burnout. When you end up going, this is what my heart really wants to do. My gut is telling me this is in the best interest of this animal, but I have an owner, that's not ready to say goodbye, or I have an owner that just doesn't want to spend the money. And that's why working for a shelter is really amazing. But we kind of do have owners in that we have people who watch Horse Plus's show, and they have opinions. So, hopefully that answered that question. I don't bring up suicide a lot. It's not a casual topic. People don't know that. Like, people have no idea. They picture vets and they're like, oh, vets get to play with puppies and kittens all day and it must be such a happy job. It is a heavy job. I actively pray that none of my children go into veterinary medicine. And if I could go back and do it again, I would not go to vet school. Even though I love my job, it's my calling. And I think God gave me a lot of gifts that make me good at my job. It still is. It's tough. It's a hard job.
What would you say to anyone who's thinking about getting into it?
I mean, we desperately need more vets. A lot of vets don't feel the way I do and would do it again. I came to that decision as a parent and wife, not as a single person. So if I didn't also have a family and didn't think that my family was the most important thing, I probably wouldn't feel that way. But I'd also probably be working like 100-hour weeks and be very unhealthy and imbalanced in another way. So I actually talked to a lot of high school students who want to go into veterinary medicine, and I try to encourage them. I love the science, and I'm hoping that pay scales catch up. Veterinarians are very underpaid, and so that none of us go into it for the money, but it is tough if you're, a decade into your career and barely making ends meet and looking at your kids and being like, wow, I'm still paying off the choices that I made. Even if you're very good at your job, even if you specialize, it's a tough field. But it's also a really heartbreaking field. It's not a job that you can just leave at the end of the day. You wake up in the night, you worry about your patients, you worry about your clients. I woke up this morning and went outside and felt how cold it was and immediately was like, oh, all the horses that are outside, so there's a lot of weight to it. But I hope that people do go into veterinary medicine. I think it's an incredibly rewarding and important job. And I hope that the general public recognizes that the 30 seconds that it takes to type out something hateful about how long you had to wait to get an appointment is having really detrimental effects on the profession. And I hope people change that.
I feel like all the positive comments, and it's really nice, but I feel like positive comments are like a bunch of people making a stained glass window, and it just takes one or two people to like shatter it.
I don't watch our show. I don't read the comments. I've watched little tiny snippets of things, like if somebody's like my friend adopted a horse, and every once in a while I'll watch a little bit of the things, but for my own mental health, I just can't, because our worth isn't in what we accomplish, and our worth isn't in what other people say about us. And it's really tempting in both directions, right? If people say nice things, you want to read about them, and if people say mean things, it's really devastating. And so I just don't read them or watch. Not that I don't support Horse Plus, and I have watched Horse Plus before I worked here. I just don't want to see myself, and I have to hear enough of my own voice as to all the people in my office.
Yeah, I've known a lot of people that had friends or classmates that committed suicide just because they were working 100+ hours a week, giving their all, and it just took one person saying, like, you don't care, or you're only in it for the money, or just criticizing every little detail. And we take that to heart and we dwell on it. It's kind of like it festers, and then all of a sudden they just can't take it anymore. So words are words, but when we give our heart to everything we do, and then it's just shattered, like you said, like a stained glass window, it's really hard to pick yourself back up after that and feel like, why am I here? What am I doing? Nobody cares. I'm not doing anybody any good. I'm not helping the animals. So it's just, think about what you say before you say it. And if you would say that to their face rather than just being like a keyboard warrior. Because people are losing their lives over it. It's not worth it.
Who's the adoption appointment for, Haley? Glinda. You should have them meet Paolo too. He's a real good boy.
He is really good.
Okay. So you're contacting Keith. That staff is just going to go take a look. If it's like, hey, we can move these 2 panels and run them over, maybe we'll do it. But I think it's going to be more involved in that.
She's a level 4, so she is rideable, but she is more advanced riding, so she will need a lot more work with her. But she's super sweet on the ground, super easy to catch. She's just, as soon as you grab her, she's the best that she can be. So I'll show you her really quick, and we do have one horse on here. He's not on here. His name's Paulo. He's a year old, so he's still young. Probably good for her to start up with. But he's like a dog. He'll follow you around.
He's a pocket.
Yeah, he's anything you ask him to do, he'll do with you.
Okay.
So I can take you out and show him.
Okay.
We can get on down here.
Come on.
She saw horses when she walked up, so she was definitely ready.
You saw the cute horse? Yeah, that one. Like, that one is a cute horse.
Oh.
Cute horse. That cute horse.
Are you excited?
Yeah. That cute horse. Cute horse. That's all cute horse.
They're all cute horses.
Okay.
Nice.
She's just like all of ours. Here. And how old is she?
I would believe she may be 13.
Okay.
13 to 15, so she's still young.
Can I pay attention to this?
So we did multiple pregnancy tests on her, but they all came back empty.
3, 2.
For me.
Oh, that's because it's super tight. I don't think you got it all the way in. You're just like my dogs. I choose a side for you, and then you choose the other side. She walks very easy. Girl.
You'll meet Paulo.
Yeah.
Be free for right now. You like you
So would like to saddle it.
Yeah.
Before we make the final. I'd at least like to, see how they handle it.
Yeah. Up. There we go.
And you said he's only a year?
A year to 2.
He'll get bigger.
Paulo. And he is gated.
Okay.
So I think maybe draft Tennessee Walker.
No.
Something.
Want me to text that one out?
Do y'all have any horses already?
Not yet.
Not yet.
These will be our first 2.
Very cool.
Now that we're getting her into horseback riding, we want to, get our own set.
Yeah.
Hey, I think I'm supposed to be doing the leading, not you. Yeah, this one will need some work.
Quite sometimes. He wears blankets, everything.
Okay. She actually takes horseback riding lessons from a trainer that actually trains horses too.
Okay.
So we have backup if
Yeah.
we need help.
Yeah.
So
Trust me. I told her, I said,
all of ours will be in the barn. So.
yeah, and I told her, I said, I'm going to be texting you a lot.
Yeah. Definitely.
With it being our first horses, it's like, be ready.
Given his demeanor for his first ride, it's probably not going to be that too bad.
Yeah.
Just because he's like a dog.
Now, they shouldn't be ridden until I think, what,
It's
2?
about 2 or 3.
Yeah.
With him, probably just because of his bones, probably about 3.
Okay.
But that gives her time just to kind of groundwork on all
Yeah.
that. That way they have that connection. If you guys do go with him today.
Good project
Do you have
horse.
We got here brushing for like 2 hours just to get everything fixed.
You might go with you, Bree. She's like, I'm
She
out.
said she likes that one. She said, why can't I
Oh,
have
look at
that
his
one?
pretty run.
She said when I told her it's yours, she's like, oh.
His run is so pretty. Well, any horse this kid's going up with are great.
As long as there's not a concern. Same wagon.
Just once you kind of take time with her, so you're not gonna hurt her. She figures it out right away. Right.
Oh, that's pretty simple. Just showing them the saddle first.
Yeah. Let him sniff it to see it's
Show her that saddle and then she's good, huh?
Saying it's okay. Good girl.
Once she realizes, hey,
Yeah, it's not a gun. We're good.
Nothing
We're not gonna beat you
Yeah.
with it. Yeah, we think she came to us just as a brood mare,
Yeah.
so they kind of must have just used her whenever, and then kind of just let her hang out in pastures.
Yeah.
you definitely like, okay, let me go on. I think it just might help.
But yeah, with the saddle.
Okay. Whatever you want.
I love that. See, now she does that. She's good on it.
Yeah, she's good on it. It's just when she's standing still,
Yeah.
she lets all the
Some
weight off of
horses
it.
do just to
Yeah,
keep the weight off of one side.
yeah. It's just always that side.
Yeah.
That was my only concern when I saw her standing there. Is that she was pulling that leg up. She looks good though.
You want to come home with us? What you want to go do? Oh, God.
Did you go in the barn at night? You leave most of you guys out in the field though, don't you?
Yeah, unless they're
I understand it.
Yeah,
it's a lot of
unless-
horses.
yeah, unless they're medical or they just haven't gotten them into coats. We blanket some,
Yeah.
or we bring them in here.
Okay. Fortunately, the two we got, we don't need the blankets, so.
Yeah.
All I'm telling her is I'm up for either one. I just don't want her to rush it,
Yeah.
Because it is a big decision.
What we've also learned helps is with a baby and another horse, the baby tends to learn off of the horse.
Okay.
So
That's
if
true. It's kind of like a
That would
if
puppy.
you were to go on trail rides with her, it'd be easier just to kind of let him tag along.
He
Yep.
follows. Yeah.
He's like, oh hey, a
Yeah.
salad or no salad. Salad's not that bad.
Yeah. Because we'll probably do some of the saddle riding even in the pasture,
Yeah.
especially with her.
Yeah. So have we decided on adopting Glinda and Paulo today?
Oh, yes.
Adopt them both?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Linda and Paulo. Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
adoption? Baby Philo. And Glinda.
Oh, both of them?
Yeah.
From when I stopped riding, I've always wanted a horse.
Now you're getting two.
That's right.
That's right.
But you're excited.
Yeah, my heart won't stop pounding. There's a chestnut here too.
I always thought
That looks like your horse.
Yes, it looks like both of our horses.
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Oh my goodness, that looks so funny.
Yeah, it almost looks like he has a blanket on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Are you gonna get a blanket that looks like that for your horse?
No.
No.
It's so funny.
It's funny. What's your blanket gonna look like? What color?
Red.
You have a boy horse, so are you gonna get a blue
Blue.
or teal?
I could mix up with pink and blue.
Pink and blue? Should we get her a pink one and get you a blue one?
Yeah.
Good job.
Where's that?
Alright, Matt, yeah, you're just a little short.
That's your job.
Fine.
Okay, there's one.
Go out and ring the bell and
Go ring the bell?
Yeah.
Come on.
I know she'll enjoy that.
Put it down.
Bullet. 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 There you go.
Look, we got the dog.
She's got all that in.
Done.
Brady, you want to get up in the truck and take one?
How was your experience here?
It was absolutely perfect.
That's great.
Friendliness, cleanness, I mean, great horses, of course. Yeah, and be able to easy access about YouTube and everything else. Able to see the horses and what's up for adoption and stuff is perfect.
Here's Paulo getting ready to go home to his new family.
I don't know about this, but I know that makes really good. It smells good.
He said I gotta leave a little bit here.
There you go. Come on. There you go. I'll give you that. Get it? Nope. Drop one. Here.
One more. You know what?
She's always picking on us, so I figured I'd return the favor.
my hands will warm up so they would work. Look, you look pretty in red. Bring it on.
Pizza crusts and everything else. There you go.
Horse Plus Humane Society, thank you so much for our new family members.
Today is Tara's last day, so I'm gonna go see if I can find her and see if she wants to, say a few words about her experience here at Horse Plus. We hope to see you again soon. It's been really good working. I haven't worked directly with you, but getting to know you and stuff. It's
been a great experience for me, especially that time that I worked up there during when we first met.
That was my interview, I think. My working interview. That was your first day?
No, that was the first time I had ever done anything like that.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And to see how many horses they saved, oh wow, it was so heart-wrenching seeing those animals come in the way that they do. Yeah. But, there's so many that saved. It's like, I don't know. I've kind of, felt connected to that because I know how many times I've felt the way that they looked. Mm-hmm. And I was saved, But, and this place really helped me. Like, I was really confused before I come here, and it has really helped me grow in a lot of ways.
That's awesome. Just have focus and stuff.
Yeah, like and just being out here and having time alone with with the animals or just by myself and working and doing stuff to make a better place for animals that are less fortunate, you know what I'm saying? And it just helped me do a lot of, self-reflection.
That's great,
And the people here are really great. Like, going to work with Angela every morning and listening to her talks, she's just amazing. And Tawny's amazing. And Lynn, I mean, everybody that works here, I love everybody. Yeah, but there's been certain people that I've gotten close with,
Yeah. That's great.
I'm really grateful they have this opportunity for people to...
The Women's Work Relief Program? Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah, very, very cool, yeah. The day coming to an end. It's actually my favorite time to come outside and take a few minutes and kind of taking the day before it ends and just listen to the quiet out here. It's just really nice and peaceful at this time.